Coming to you from Proofpoint Protect 2025, I'm Kristina Ayanian from Nasdaq. And joining me is Tom Korn, EVP and GM of Threat Protection Group at Proofpoint. Tom, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
So you have some exciting announcements that you made at the conference. Tell me about that and how it affects your business division.
There's a lot of announcements that are really about agentic AI, which is really a major inflection point in our industry. Some of them relate to how you protect an environment that is increasingly agentic, right? We're going to have a massive number of agents that are messaging, collaborating with customers, with users. The second is really how are we using agentic technology to automate a lot of the processes and the job to be done that our customers have to do. And the third is really around how do you protect against attackers that are increasingly using agentic technology. And all of those are meaningful.
So you mentioned collaboration. What does collaboration in security mean and how is it evolving in this market?
Yeah, so there's a whole layer in our companies where it's users, our employees interacting, collaborating with coworkers, with customers, with suppliers, with partners. That whole layer, they're doing it over in a digital world, they're doing it over email, over messaging, over collaboration platforms, cloud platforms. That is the heart, the beating heart of any organization. That's where most of the value is created. It's also an area that has tremendous risk, and most major attacks would exploit that layer. And so email security, messaging security, how do you secure interactions over the cloud? That is really the essence of that whole collaboration security. And that is increasingly not just people, but agents as well, that are interacting with people or that are assisting people. And so, as always in security, it's about, the old expression, brakes aren't there to make the car go slow. They're there so that you can go fast. We're trying to create solutions that enable organizations to collaborate at velocity, but do so in a way that doesn't expose them to so enormous risk.
So going off of that point, how does agentic AI come into play and what's changing with agentic AI?
So there's a few things that we did and we've announced at the show. One is Proofpoint Satori, which is a whole family of agents that can automate so many of the larger processes that happen in this space. Everything from mailbox abuse. There's a whole part where employees report potentially suspicious emails. And there's a lot of work that goes on using our products to investigate those. We're automating all of that away using agents. We are automating processes like taking real attacks that are going into the organization, turning it around and turning it to simulation so we can rapidly train all the employees and make them far more resilient to these kinds of attacks. So there's a whole broad range there. There's also work that we've done to integrate with other agents from other companies like Microsoft Copilot for Security and CrowdStrike Charlotte, where we're enabling those agents to connect into our environment and leverage all of our context and information and answer questions about security. And we've done a whole bunch of new language models and detection models to catch all kinds of new types of AI-born threats and threats that deal with leveraging the fact that our employees are increasingly using AI to summarize emails, to enhance their experience. So it's really all of those elements is a big part of what we're showing here.
You're really acting as an extension of your customers' teams.
Absolutely. And, this is a space undergoing enormous change. It was a space that traditionally was solved with dozens of products, very innovative, but the reality, the complexity and cost of solving this with a bunch of siloed products is not just simply expensive, but complexity really kills your ability to secure an environment. And so we've really started to bring these together as a platform using a common set of control points so that we can see all the different types of interactions, a common detection layer, and all the tools all built on one platform. So the security teams can have a holistic view and a common source of truth to collaborate with other teams. It's pretty revolutionary, and I think it's going to change this space in very substantial ways. We're very excited about it.
You really have that unified approach.
Yep.
So is Proofpoint a customer of Proofpoint?
Absolutely. Unquestionably a customer of Proofpoint. We are among the first adopters of everything that we do, 100%.
That's amazing. And a fun one to wrap this up. If AI could do one thing for you personally, what would it be?
It would teach me how to sing better. If it could teach me how to sing better.
And we are in Nashville, so very fitting.
There we go.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.